In the blue gi, Elisabeth Clay representing Aries Jiu-Jitsu. In the white is Anna Carolina Vieira of Aviv Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, one thing really different between these two ladies, it's kind of a fun contrast. Liz is very ice cold. You know, she doesn't really have a lot of expressions when she fights. No. And Anna Carolina is obviously she's a very emotional, very passionate fighter. You know, a lot of celebration. You know, she's doing a very long prayer over here on the side of the mat. You know, a lot of emotion going in.
So emotional when she fights. She
very different demeanors on the mat. So it's a fun mix of athletes here. I'm really, really excited to see them compete. This is probably the match I was looking forward to the most today.
Yeah, and stylistically as well. You know, we love seeing the clash of styles here. We love seeing the contrasting techniques. We love seeing this this technical exchange between two high-level athletes and two very, very skilled grapplers. And I think no surprise, Kendall, that Elisabeth Clay immediately pulling the guard. But
it's incredible.
Look at the posture of Anna Carolina Vieira immediately putting on the pressure.
It's incredible what Liz does with her foot a second ago. She's like pulling her foot towards her face. Looks like her knee's gonna pop, and it just never does. And just, you know, try to defend against that pressure. So she has her left arm. Is it on a lapel? No, not on a lapel. She's in this reverse de la Riva position, starting to spin underneath. But Anna doing a great job keeping her hips low and back, not letting Liz get anywhere underneath her.
You know, pressure passing is something that it's something we see across the weight divisions. But there are certain people who are just so much better at it than others.
Absolutely.
Anna Carolina,
one of the best.
Absolute best in the world, right? She comes from GF Team, right? Of course, her and her brother, both of them were GF Team black belts. Now Anna Carolina Vieira has her own team, Aviv Jiu-Jitsu, with her wife. But that GF Team pedigree is strong. Her guard passing, you know, because they were always so well known for the guard passing, for their precision grips, and for their very particular style of guard passing. And Anna Carolina Vieira is so good at that style. We don't often see her play from bottom. I mean, she can,
no,
but
we don't.
We always think of Anna Carolina Vieira and we think of great guard passing.
Right. And I think it's, you know, if we do see a sweep from Liz, we also saw Anna Carolina really shut down Gabriela Pisana's game from the bottom position. So yeah, you're right. She plays great from both top and bottom, but definitely in a position here where, you know, Liz is a classic guard player and Anna Carolina has amazing passing. So like we kind of predicted before, I think this is going to be a very technical fight. A lot of slow adjustments and maybe a little burst of explosion, but definitely very highly calculated here.
Well, that is definitely Anna Carolina's style as well. I mean, we know what Liz Clay's game is. Her game is she wants to get the finish. She's not the kind of person to grind out a win. She's not the kind of person to tie up her opponents and to smother them and to just get the points on the board. No, she wants the finish. Whether it's the upper body or lower body, she wants the submission. But Anna Carolina Vieira, her game is very different in that she will break her opponents through just a sheer kind of accumulation of pressure, and she will put them into the position where they have no choice but to react. That's when she goes. That's when she's on the attack. Yeah, she cooks them. Exactly.
Yep, she cooks them. Yeah, a lot of heavy pressure coming down here with this right knee.
That grip on the pant leg as well, so clever, because, and she's around to the side, but the way that she's rotated in and she kind of cuts an angle, it really put Liz Clay at a disadvantage because she wasn't able to kind of square back up, get under her. You know, she's moving around to the left, going to her left, and then she's kind of rotating and turning in slightly to face Liz Clay rather than kind of going around from the outside like a lot of people do when they think of distance passing.
Right. But yeah, and we're seeing Liz do some really, really smart stuff here. She's keeping such a tight grip on the pants with her left hand, so it's really preventing any kind of, you know, big leg drag movements or any knee cuts or anything like that from Anna Carolina, which you might see because she created a great angle moving to the left, but she just couldn't move her right leg, right? So now she's trying to come back to the right to kind of follow the direction of that pant grip. And here comes in a knee slide.
Teasing that knee cut. She's definitely looking for that opening. As she goes left and Liz's guard opens to compensate, she goes back inside again, and the gap just gets a little bit bigger each time. Now you see there's the hop over the guard, but doesn't let go of that pant grip the entire time, right?
Right, and I think that's really, really key here. Now we're going to see a little bit of a, I think, side-to-side passing with that pant grip. Yep. She's going to reach for the head. But again, Liz's guard retention is on another level. You know, we've seen her in some crazy positions. We think for sure her guard's going to be passed, and then all of a sudden, you know, the butterfly hooks back in. Yeah, butterfly hook back in, or she's backward rolling, you know, one way or the other. But that pan crib Anna Carolina has with her left hand right now is really inching her towards side control. We're going to see a nice back attack here.
Looking to get the back here. She gets around those legs and now has the harness, has the seatbelt grip. No points yet because of no hooks, but there is definitely the option to go for the neck. Desperately trying to recover the guard or to roll out and escape is Liz Clay, but Anna Carolina Vieira, her grip is so tight around the neck. Look at that.
Yeah,
incredible pressure and control.
Very tight seatbelt grip. There's not really anywhere to go. Now, just to keep in mind, if she takes it back here, of course she gets 4 points. But if she ends up in side control from this position, she will only get the advantage because she technically left the guard passing position when chasing the back. So, interesting strategy here because we know Liz Clay, her guard retention is on point. She could potentially come back to score. And Anna Carolina
trying to get that leg between them, trying to throw it over the top. But I think that's going to be settling down into this top position. There it is. Anna Carolina Vieira settles down at the top. However, no points because she didn't pass the guard.
No, she was chasing the back.
She was chasing the back.
Gets an advantage. But again, just like we were saying a second ago, from here, Liz's guard retention is so strong. Does give her the opportunity to recover and try to score, you know, a sweep or an attack from there, and not a heavy lead to rely on. So I would expect Anna Carolina to keep pressing forward here, looking for some back attacks and mount attacks, possibly now on belly to get some 2 points. Looks like her knee may come up soon. She has a nice crossface with that right hand. Could potentially turn into some submissions as well.
Big pressure from top here. Anna Carolina Vieira really is so strong, so physically imposing.
Anna Carolina doing a great job blocking the hip like we've been talking about a lot this weekend. Liz Clay was almost able to bring her knee underneath to recover. And Anna Carolina pushed that knee back, blocked the hip, and moved her legs closer towards the head. You see a guard recovery here, maybe.
Almost gets that half guard, but
beautiful position.
Stepping over into the mount is Anna Carolina Vieira.
Not quite in the mount with the quarter guard.
Yeah, just manages to deny her the control position and is able to put her back into like this open half guard. But I mean, Anna Carolina Vieira, she's so close. She's so controlling of the upper body. I think that
a nice cross choke coming here.
She could very possibly score more points while she goes forward for this, what looks like a baseball bat choke. That's a strong grip around the neck. Liz Clay could be in danger here. Her face is going red. A lot of pressure on right now. Oh, she's got through for the pass. 3 points for the pass, and the choke is active. She's going around. She's trying to cross those wrists.
I've seen Liz fight out of some very, very tight submissions, and this is looking deeper than ever.
This is maybe one of the tightest that we've seen. This is serious danger for Elisabeth Clay. That baseball bat choke is still active.
We have Liz barely creating enough space to stay alive in the game here, but this is a lot of pressure from Anna Carolina from the top position. She may even score another 3 points here if she frees her leg.
Yeah, she's re-guarded into this quarter guard position. She hasn't let go of the neck. It seems that the grip was just slightly off, just gave Elisabeth Clay a tiny bit of space from which to breathe, which to survive.
But again, this dilemma we've been talking about between the choke and the pass, you usually have to give up one to defend the other. Why it's such an important thing to be able to do, to put your partner in these dilemmas, and she scores another 3 points.
Pass there.
And the choke is getting even tighter, it seems. She's going to go over to the north-south. She could even sprawl into this choke here if she dropped her hips back. You can straighten your arms and put your head in the stomach and kind of sink back, almost like a reverse cross-collar choke, if she decided to bring her head to the stomach and move to north-south. But either way, so much pressure on Elisabeth Clay here, where to the point where she can't really do too much to recover her guard because she has to do a lot to survive. So if my partner's worried about surviving, they're not on their offense, right? They're just worried.
Survival defense comes first, right?
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to keep someone dangerous like Liz Clay at bay. So now we see Liz Clay re-turtle here.
Oh, wow.
Reset to an
big escape
guard
there for Elisabeth Clay. And that is significant, to be able to survive that onslaught. But still, look at this clock right here. 1 minute 15 on the clock. 6 point lead for Anna Carolina Vieira. And immediately goes through on the attack as well. Knee slide pass with the underhook as well. Top leg is in the way. But Anna Carolina, she's so good at closing that distance.
She really is. And then we see Liz doing what she does best, bringing that left leg on top, preventing the pass. So definitely I think we're going to see her looking for some attacks to finish. It's really her only option at this point with just under a minute left to go. But so hard to attack someone with the base of Anna Carolina here. She has a little lapel lap through the leg. But that right pan grip that Anna has, keeping those hip smashes, helping keep Liz's knees closed, although now she does start to open up that knee just a little bit, creating more space on the left side.
Liz Clay looks a little out of ideas here. She doing her best to try and catch an arm or something, but the posture of Anna Carolina Vieira is so tight. She's, in effect, she's on top. She's perfectly positioned from which to attack for the guard pass, and it doesn't give Liz Clay much of an opening, even though she has this underhook. Anna Carolina Vieira is the winner here, 2021 IBJJF Pan Champion. A very dominant performance in winning via points to take the gold, and we will see her again later this afternoon when she also fights for the absolute gold medal.
Yeah, she'll be fighting Yara when she comes back into the absolute final, which will be very interesting. Yara stands over 6 feet tall, you know, a common super heavyweight champion, competing internationally all over the world with IBJJF and AJP, and that is going to be a very, very tightly contested match in my opinion.
6-0 win for Anna Carolina Vieira. She definitely was working hard for the submission, but didn't quite come. Not for lack of trying, more on the part of Elisabeth Clay's sheer toughness in surviving some very deep choke attacks.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people would have been tapping to that choke. That looked very, very tight. Her face is turning red, and Liz is very, very tough. I can't even think of the time I've actually seen Liz tapped.
And your 2021 adult female black belt medium heavyweight champion is...
Very emotional win for Anna Carolina Vieira, but her day is not over yet. There is a very good chance we will see her on top of that podium again later today in the absolute division. She comes back for a second chance to face gold, but... And you know, you mentioned... Oh, let's take a look at some of the best moments from that match. Here is that back take that we saw from Anna Carolina Vieira. The seatbelt, she didn't have any hooks, but the seatbelt was so tight, Kendall, that Elisabeth Clay, she wasn't able to regard, she wasn't able to escape, and this is the story for me of this match, that Anna Carolina, her pressure, her control of that neck, so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And just, again, creating that dilemma where there was so much pressure on the neck that Elisabeth could not prevent the pass, right? So she had to open up the guard a little bit just to protect her neck. So that's what we saw here. Very well thought out strategy for Anna Carolina. We see her jump up on the podium here, very emotional, very excited. And I think, you know, even though she didn't score with that first back take and mount, she didn't technically score either one. She scored an advantage with those two attacks. We did see a big break in confidence after that. And a lot of times that's really all it takes.